This is really cute, but it's not the easiest cup to drink out of. Hey book lovers, I'm Elise and welcome back to my channel. This month, because I love Christmas, I'm so excited that it's finally December, I wanted to let my favorite Christmas movies pick my December TBR. I need you to go into this with a little bit of an open mind because these matches are a little bit of a stretch for some of them. So keep that in mind. But first, every month I like to draw 3 Book of the Month titles out of this little tin that I have filled with the many Book of the Month picks that I have yet to read on my shelf. I do already have one Book of the Month pick that is on this TBR, so I'm just going to be pulling 2 titles today. No Exit by Taylor Adams, I believe it is. That'll be a good one because that's wintry, right? I think there's snow on the cover. Oh, The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. Oh, another thing, this is an extremely ambitious TBR. It should probably be called my December Hopefuls, but... Now these movie selections are in no particular order, but the first movie to select a book on my TBR is going to be Elf. In this movie, Buddy the Elf has a certain phrase that he likes to say, which is son of a nutcracker. So the book that is inspired by this Christmas movie is Midnight in Everwood by Maria Kuzniar, which is a dark retelling of the Nutcracker. Do you get it? See? It's a stretch, I know. My next favorite Christmas movie is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And of course, we all know the famous song in that movie,
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
So the book that was inspired by that movie is You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince by Timothy Janofsky. And this is actually book 2 in a series. It's the Boy Meets Boy series. I have not read the first book. I don't plan to. I just thought it was a cute, fitting book to go along with that movie. My next favorite Christmas movie is Four Christmases. In this movie, Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn's characters have crazy families and they're not super excited to visit them at the holidays. So they try to fly to somewhere warm and tropical. Something happens to their flights and so they end up having to drive to all these different Christmas gatherings. All the driving around is what inspired this next pick, which is A Cross-Country Christmas by Courtney Walsh. This is a holiday romance about a career-driven woman who isn't really crazy about visiting her family for Christmas, but her brother and his wife are expecting a baby and he convinces her to come home for Christmas. And I think he sets it up so that his friend Will can drive her. So maybe, she and Will live in the same area. They're both driving there for Christmas. And her brother sets it up so that they can ride together. And it sounds like the main character and this Will have a bit of a history. My next favorite Christmas movie is The Holiday. And there's a particular scene in this movie that I love. So it's the scene where Kate Winslet comes upon this older gentleman. He's kind of walking around this neighborhood. He's a little confused. She knows that he lives there, but he can't really find his house. So she pulls over, she gets out, and she offers to help him. They end up forming this bond, this connection, and they end up spending time together, getting to know each other. He's like this old Hollywood movie producer or something along those lines, and he tells her that this has been a meet cute. That's the first time I'd ever heard that term before. So of course, that is what inspired this next book pick, which is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy. Again, this one's a little bit of a stretch because the stories have absolutely nothing in common. So this one is actually a pretty steamy holiday romance starring an adult film star whose career takes a little bit more family-friendly direction when she's cast to play in a Christmas movie. But the catch is that her co-star is actually her childhood crush. My next favorite Christmas movie is Happiest Season. I think this one aired on Hulu last year. I was pleasantly surprised by it. If I recall, I've not seen it since last year, so this may not be 100% accurate, but if I recall, Kristen Stewart is in a relationship with a woman and her girlfriend brings her home for the holidays. The girlfriend hasn't told her parents yet that she's gay, and they're a little bit more conservative of a family, so of course, you know, the girlfriend is concerned about her parents not accepting her, which sounds a little similar. Again, this one's a little bit of a stretch, but sounds a little bit similar to what happens in Holiday Trap by Roan Parrish. This is actually a book that I picked up at the Barnes & Noble in Arizona that I went to when I was there over Thanksgiving. And there's two main characters in this, the first of which is Greta Rusikoff. In the synopsis, it talks about how her tight-knit family doesn't really understand what it's like to be a lesbian. Obviously, because I've not read this, I don't know if it's maybe the same situation that her parents aren't accepting or are maybe a little more conservative. So again, this one is a bit of a stretch, but kind of sounds like potentially a little bit similar theme there. There is another character in here, Truman Belvedere, who finds out that his boyfriend has a husband and a child. So of course he's heartbroken, and a mutual friend of Greta and Truman suggests that they swap homes for the holidays. My next favorite Christmas movie, and this one is honestly probably my absolute favorite Christmas movie, Love Actually. And this is a primarily British cast, which of course is the reason it inspired this pick, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. This one is a mystery about four friends who live in a retirement village, and they gather once a week to investigate unsolved murders. This one I'm actually doing a bit of a casual buddy read with Victor, aka Book Pop, over on Instagram. My next favorite Christmas movie is Last Christmas. This one is such a unique movie in my opinion. I can't really tell you why it inspired this next pick, because it's a huge spoiler for the movie. But if you've seen it, you may understand. But the book pick is The Santa Suit by Mary Kate Andrews. This is a novella that celebrates the magic of Christmas and second chances. And my final favorite Christmas movie, I haven't actually seen yet. I think it comes out tomorrow, but it is Violent Night. Now, the reason that I am already saying it's gonna be a favorite movie is because I am a Jim Hopper girly. I love me some David Harbour. He plays Santa Claus. He plays a bad Santa Claus, and I am so excited for it. If you haven't seen trailers for the movie, basically these bad guys like break and enter into this family's home. They tie them up. They're trying to get money out of them. Somehow Santa comes across the scene because this is happening on Christmas Eve, and he kicks some butt, and it looks amazing. Because of the moida that takes place in that movie, that has inspired this next book pick, which is Apple Cider Slang by Julie Ann Lindsay. It's actually the December pick for the Cozy Hollow Book Club, and it's a cozy mystery about Winnie and her Granny Smith, who own an apple orchard, and I guess it's not really doing well, so to try to help it along, they put together this festival, and it's actually the first annual Christmas at the Orchard. And apparently, Granny has a nemesis who is found dead. So, of course, Granny is suspect number one, and Winnie is absolutely determined to prove her innocence. All right, so those are all the books that my favorite Christmas movies have chosen for me to read this month. I do have a couple others that I want to add in there. The first of which is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is book number 3 in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I am this close to finishing A Court of Mist and Fury. I have like 10% left. I tried so hard to finish it in November, but I'll probably finish it today. This next one that I've been really wanting to read, I did originally want to read it in November, but decided to push it off until December, but that is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This has been circulating for months over on Bookstagram and BookTube, and it's just a cozy fantasy. There's orcs, there's a cafe. I'm sold. I can't wait to get to it. And the final book is The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayless. Every Christmas I tell myself I'm going to read it, and I haven't, so I would really like to get to this one this year. And it seems like the perfect year for it because I've seen a lot of other people reading this one. I totally did not put everything away, get everything taken down, and forget to film my Book of the Month books. I even managed to put up another Christmas decoration. The 2 books that I drew this month for Book of the Month, The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. This one sounds super interesting. It definitely sounds like a fantasy. A girl turns into a tree. I don't know. So it's about the Montoyas. They're used to a life without explanations. They know better than to ask why the pantry never seems to run low or empty, why their matriarch won't ever leave their home. So lots of magical things going on, it sounds like. And then Orquídea Divina dies. They go to her funeral and they expect to learn the secrets that she's held on to so tightly, but instead, Orquídea turns into a tree. And it sounds like over the course of 7 years, her gifts manifested in different ways for the other Divina children. And part of it takes place in Ecuador. Definitely sounds super unique. I'm actually excited to get to this. Find out what it's all about. The other one that I drew, of course, was No Exit by Taylor Adams. This one, what do I know about it? I've not seen the movie on Hulu. I think it's Hulu. I've heard it's very different from the book, so I may not watch that. It's a thriller, something along the lines of somebody sees a little girl on her way to Utah to see her dying mother. Darby Thorne gets caught in a fierce blizzard in the Colorado Rockies. With the road impassable, she's forced to wait out the storm at a remote highway rest stop. Desperate to find a signal to call home. In the back of a van parked next to her car is a little girl locked in an animal crate. So it sounds like a very tense, twisty thriller. And it's snowy. That's perfect for this time of year. And the one that I selected for myself to read this month, The Family Game by Catherine Stedman. I love that house. Look at that house. That's definitely haunted. Harriet is a novelist on the brink of literary stardom, newly engaged to Edward, who is heir to a powerful family. They go visit his family. She's given a tape of a book that his father's been working on. Oh, I guess there's a confession on the tape to a grisly crime. Oh my. So we've got confusion, we've got isolation. Well, that sounds super intriguing. Back to the other stuff that I already filmed. I'm the biggest dork. Outros are always so awkward. I don't know what to say. I'm like this in real life too. Like, I don't know how to wrap up a conversation. I'm the person that's just like, yep, so I'm gonna scoot on out of here now. Anyways, as always, I appreciate you guys being here. If you'd love to see more content from me, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you're reading this month. Are we reading any of the same books? Have you already read some of the books that I've selected? Or do we have any favorite Christmas movies in common? Let me know. Okay, until next time, bye.